This video is primarily to explore some kneeling poses. You can find traditional kneeling with knees together, feet underneath your bum, or transition from here to hero's pose, taking the legs far enough apart that your bottom can sit in between them. Try keeping knees pointed forward and not allowing the legs to splay out too much. You may take the stretch a little further by leaning back onto the hands, or a little bit further by coming down onto the elbows, or even lying all the way to the floor. Try keeping knees pointed forward, and if knees are coming off the floor, you've gone too deep into the stretch. This can also be an intense one on the knees, so if you have knee pain, come out a little. Transitioning through tabletop and up onto the knees for camel pose. With legs hips width apart, tops of the feet down or toes tucked, first taking hands to low back, pushing the hips forward and rolling the shoulders down the back. Start by opening up the chest towards the sky. Remember, the back bend of our camel pose should come from the upper back and not the low back. So as you move deeper into the back bend, remember to keep pushing the hips forward, and if you feel pain in the low back, back off. In camel, you may choose to keep your hands at the low back or move through some of these variations. You may reach one arm at a time back to grab the heel, reaching the other arm up and overhead, remembering to keep hips square towards front and hips pushing forward to not bend too deeply into the low back. Coming back up and taking that on the other side. Left hand reaching for left heel, left hand reaching towards left heel, and right arm overhead. Again, these can be done with toes tucked or tops of feet on the floor. Reaching first to open the chest, hips pushing forward as we get into our back bend. Hands may stay down to the heels or come to heart center or reach overhead. Coming back out from bottom to top with the head the last thing to rise. Now we've been in down dog in some other videos, but let's talk about some cues to think about while we're getting into our down dog position. Pushing our hips up and back from plank pose to find down dog. Fingers pointed towards the top of our mat with our hands pushing our bodies up and away from the floor, especially pushing from the finger pads to take weight out of the wrists. It can help to rock up onto toes, then sink the hips down, bend a little into the knees and push the chest towards the thighs, then re-straighten the legs. Maintain that shoulder opening with chest reaching towards the legs. Now coming down onto our knees to take a look at puppy pose. From tabletop, take a step forward with the hands, and sink the chest towards the floor while maintaining hips over knees. This is also called melting heart pose because we're trying to melt our hearts to the floor. Come out, push into the hands to lift the chest, and step the hands back into tabletop. As we take one more look at these poses, remember that yours may not look exactly like mine. Pushing our hips up and back from plank to get into down dog. Elbows spin towards front of mat, sinking towards the floor, but may not reach the floor. Knees sinking back to ground and hands taking a step forward to find puppy pose once more. The heart melts towards the earth, finding a stretch to the shoulders and chest. You can come down to forehead or have more space, bring chin to the mat. Find even more opening in the chest and shoulders. You may tent the hands coming up onto all 10 fingers. Now from kneeling or camel, you can take a step forward into low lunge. In low lunge, we want to remember to keep our hips square. So with the left leg forward, remembering to draw the left hip back and the right hip forward. Reaching arms overhead and bending further into the left knee to feel a good stretch down the right hip flexor. Now for half splits on the left, extend through the left leg, curling left toes back towards face. Inhaling flat back, exhale to curve a little deeper. Also help to scooch the extended leg a little bit further towards the front of the mat. A nice warm-up variation is to flow between low lunge and half split. Now reaching arms back overhead, bending into left leg. Exhale, push the hips back and straighten through the left leg. Inhale, bending back through left leg and reaching arms overhead. Exhale, straightening through left legs and pushing hips back. This flow can be taken using hands on the floor for balance or by swinging arms like a pendulum from up overhead to behind you in airplane. Remembering always to connect breath to movement.